on the point of family again is the fact that I saw people stand with me. I saw people just come to be with me and to just be present. For me, it meant the world, because when my world was crumbling, it was these people that made it worth it. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Patricia Nudi Orao. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. So we are in 2025, and 2024 was a great year for me, but it had lots and lots of challenges as well. So I want to take this time to just be reflective and to get to reflect on 2024, what worked, what didn't work, the challenges, the successes, the lessons that I learned, and all that stuff. So if you have not subscribed, please subscribe first. I'll wait for you and then we can proceed. Have you subscribed? Sawa. Thank you. So last year, started on one of the best notes. Like, I traveled to New York in the first quarter of last year, and I reconnected with old friends. I was in the US 3 years, no, 5 years ago. Before that, 5 years prior, and I was there a lot. So like I traveled almost 5 times in a span of a year. And so I reconnected with old friends. It was just such a good moment to be able to just be in that space. And so that was really a highlight. I also was very heavily involved in some of my pet projects that I've always wanted to be involved in. But then around April, I conceived, and my pregnancy was very tough. And late last year was when I also received a bad diagnosis of my son. So my son was diagnosed with a chronic illness. So that is, in a snapshot, my 2024. I learned a lot of lessons. It was the year that I think I rested the most. I realized that rest is important. And I won't say my rest is not the kind of rest that other people see. Like, my rest is taking a moment, like not having to work 16 hour days, not having to always be engaged somewhere, like doing something all the time that you are awake. I think my rest is not someone else's rest. I fully recognize that there are people whose rest it's unmanageable for me. Like, I cannot rest that much. But as compared to my previous years, I think 2024 was the year that I rested a lot. It was also a year that I got to accept that it is fine to not want to always be busy doing stuff. Like, the whole world will not stop just because I'm resting. And so I realized that I think I take myself too seriously. I'm like, I think the world will definitely stop when I'm not around, which is a complete lie that I got to realize. So for me, I carry rest with me to this new year, and to prioritize rest as part and parcel of everything that I do. The other thing that I learned last year was that family is indeed everything. I got to live in moments where, had I not had the people that I call family around, and there are friends that have turned into family, of course. Like, if you've been friends with someone for over a decade, like, that's family. But then I realized that they came through for me in more ways than one. It was one of the years that I had to ask for help. Like, for me, help is foreign. That's another lesson. Like, asking for help is foreign. Asking for financial help, asking for help with stuff, asking for, like, it was a new year for me. I had never been the kind to ask for any sort of help. Which I think is something that I went through therapy to be able to understand, that help is it's okay to ask for help. And so I read a book. I'll link it down below if I don't remember. The Art of something. I'll put it down below. But then I read that book and it really solidified the fact that I don't have to be superwoman. And so I learned that family is everything. I also learned that it is okay to ask for help. It is not bad to ask for help. And I think had I not asked for help in the way that I asked for it, I would not have come out of the other side alive. Uh, Family, on the point of family again, is the fact that I saw people stand with me. I saw people just come to be with me and to just be present. For me, it meant the world. Because when my world was crumbling, it was these people that made it worth it. The second last thing that I learned is pain. Pain is a process. Like, pain is a part and parcel of life. Pain is, I think I have not experienced pain like I did last year. And one of the things that I got to realize is pain is not how we perceive pain to be. I think most of the time when we talk about pain, it's something that is not like, it's not something that we want. And of course I don't want it. But one of the things that happened to me is that I learned a lot through that pain. I'm a whole different I'm a whole different person. I keep on telling people, like, me at the beginning of 2024 and me at the beginning of 2025, we're like completely different people just because I went through it. And for me, one of the things that I learned around pain is feel everything. Allow yourself to feel all the emotions. Because one of the things that we don't do quite often is be in a space where you feel everything. We like to numb pain. So when you're going through stuff, you're watching movies or you're traveling or you're going out with friends, you're always overstimulated so that you don't get to feel it. One of the things that I realized is when you allow yourself to feel the pain, you heal faster. And when you heal, you heal. I think for me, if I had not allowed myself to cry the way I cried, if I did not allow myself to lock myself in and to be able to feel every shred of that emotion, I would not be there where I am today. I could barely talk about my son without crying. Right now, I can. I can go through an entire conversation and not shed a tear because I allowed myself to feel every ounce of that pain. And for me, I grew because of it. I am a better person because of it. The last thing that I learned in the last year is that God truly is everything. I think there is moments that we feel that God is not within our scenario. When you go through stuff and you feel that God is not present, God doesn't care. And for me, the presence of God was everything. Like, for me, it was tangible. I could feel it. And one of the things that I've realized that indeed when you're going through your hardest point, God is nearest during those moments. I can tell you for a fact, even during the painful moments, the very painful moments, I could feel a supernatural presence of God. When I was delivering my newborn, which is a story that I probably would need to tell, I was in this room and I only got to get intense pain for around like 4 minutes, 4 to 10 minutes before I delivered. And so even throughout that process of delivery in that room, I felt such a heavy presence of God. Like, for me, it was just an assurance that everything will be fine. Everything is fine. Everything has worked out. And for me, one of the things that I realized is I rely on God for everything. And I want to keep on relying on God, because if it were up to me, one of the things that I learned about me is that I am deeply flawed. I am weak in many ways. I am so unskilled, so nothing, like so uneducated. Like, I just looked at myself in moments and I was like, if it were not for God, I 100% would not have gone through this season. And that season would have really like just swallowed me. But like, because God held me and God was there for me, and God was always whispering like comforting messages to me, it felt so much better. So for me, God is everything. God continues to be everything. There's no one like God. There's no one that can compare. I 100% believe that God is truly the author and the finisher of everything. And so that is one of my biggest lessons. I was a believer before 2024. I am a believer now more than I've ever been, because what I've seen God take me through and take me out of. I know, like, I'm not completely out of it. Like, every time I talk about it, like, people are like, why are we talking about, like, as if it's over? It's not yet over. I think the journey is still on. But one of the things that I've learned is I'm not walking alone. And that's it for me. Like, I don't need to worry about everything. I don't need to be at the center of everything. That so long as I am on the right track, so long as I am exactly where I'm supposed to be, where God has led me to go to, I'm completely living in my purpose. I don't need to worry. And so the last final thing is worry is overrated. Like, it doesn't matter how much you worry. It does not matter. Whatever will happen, will happen. It doesn't matter whether you take 100 years worrying about things. Everything nothing ever goes away because you worried. And I think worry is overrated. Like, quick one. I had serious panic attacks. Like, I had anxiety to the core. And so I would get these panic attacks. I wake up in the middle of the night, like, sweating and panicking. And I was like, one time I got to a point, I asked myself, like, why do I want to kill myself? Like, I would hear my son in the other room laughing his head out. Like, that boy sings. Maybe we'll put a clip of him here singing. Like, he's always singing. He's always loud. He's the loudest person I've ever met. And so I was like, his life is going on. Like, it's technically me who is stuck in this space, and I will die just because of worry. And this boy, like, his life is completely, like, his life is full. Everything is exactly how it is for him, and he does not worry about what I'm worrying about. And I was like, I don't need to carry this load, because this load was not meant for me. And in that moment, he lost me, because I was like, if he can go ahead with life, not worrying about the things I'm worrying about, then I can for sure, although I'm the adult and I know, like, how bad this is for him, but I'm like, I want to have faith in the fact that his happiness is just a compass to the fact that we are on the right direction and that everything will be fine. And so worry is overrated. I choose not to worry. I choose to stay in gratitude. I choose to live a day at a time. I choose to be more present. I choose to treasure family and friends more. I choose to live in the moment. I choose to love the people that love me and love them fiercely. I choose to just enjoy life, because no one comes out of this life alive. And I choose to let God be the anchor. I cannot lead. I don't know how to lead. I don't know how I will ever lead. But I know that the God who put me down here knew exactly what I was supposed to do at this time, right this moment, and that is what I choose to believe in. So thank you guys for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do. I will keep on carrying some of these nuggets as I go on through 2025. And I hope that you find this helpful, and I hope that you feel encouraged wherever you are. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.